I know Nana Odoro had been asking us what we thought of UTS Munchen watches. And it's an interesting question because they're basically a super micro brand out of Munich, Germany. And essentially the owner, Nicolaus, makes the watches as he can on CNC tools in which he is a specialist. He's an engineer.
Okay.
He does CNC work. And Nicolaus Spinner, he's the name of the watchmaker slash proprietor. He has an American partner named Stephen who actually does the importing, and you can see utswatches.com is their import site for the US. Interesting watches since 1999, basically a guy who wanted to make his own dive watch, put a good Swiss movement in it, and sell it with his own style and his own brand. So I would say they're almost like Pita Barcelona, but with less of a watchmaking focus and more of a case style, fit, finish, and assembly focus.
Okay, so it's more of like a Panerai style watch where like the movement's not the main show. What you're talking about is the tool itself, right?
Exactly. And here's the funny thing: the watches are very robust. They do have a little bit of a resemblance, whether intentional or unintentional, to certain models from Oris. But all of the watches are very honestly, we like Oris. I mean,
what's the price point of these?
Price point is roughly, I'm going to say 2,300 US to about 4,500 US.
Oh, wow.
With the exception of their one outlier, which is actually a tourbillon diver.
Oh, of course. Everyone needs one of those in their
collection. Of course, because, plus a tourbillon.
That's cool. You know what? In our office, we have Tom Suter, who's a longtime watch collector, and like I recently, I feel like he was on that website, the utswatches.com, looking up. He's into those like the low to middle range watches, and just has. I want to say last time he told me he had like 150 watches. So interesting. Yeah, I mean those are cool. I'm starting to get into those like micro brands in that price range, especially if you pick them up pre-owned. Obviously, you get a better deal too, and those are fun. And you can all of a sudden you look around, you have 30 watches.
Yeah. And here's the other thing that's really cool. Because this is a small manufacturer, and because Nicolaus does all the work on the watches himself, this is a brand that's great to get into if you like dive watches, you like the look of their watches, but you want to have a very bespoke experience and a personal relationship, like a first-name basis with the guy behind the brand. That's definitely what you want.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, Justin Reese joining us from Singapore.
Hey, Justin.
Howdy, boss.
Hey,
how are you doing?
Yes to your question.
Good friend of ours out there. So bottom line, everyone who's joining us tonight, I see Sweden, I see Singapore, I see Western Mass. I see one guy from Alaska joining us.
Oh, Alaska.
We have a proposal for you from Justin. Are you married, Josh? The world wants to know.
Are you proposing?
Hello from Scotland. And I should explain this hat before people start throwing rotten fruit. This is do the macro camera. We have to explain every time this hat makes an appearance. This is the H. Moser & C from SIHH 2017, the Make Swiss Great Again hat, because they object to the 2017 Swiss labeling laws. 60% is not enough for them, so they've taken Swiss made off their logos, off their dials, and as they say, very rare, about 1,000 watches a year, 95% Swiss content. They say just about the only part that's not Swiss is the strap.
That's right. And you know what? Red's a great color too. So
red is a great. And just to even things out, I've got the blue hat.
Oh God, look at that.
And the green glasses. So we've got the greens, the right, and the left all in one. Okay. Also, a question from Atif Chaudhry, who asked last time, what do we think of the Patek Philippe 5170G? Josh, your perspective.
I mean, it's iconic watch, super popular. They trade heavily through dealers like us and also private sellers.
I mean, with a high-end chronograph like this that replaced the much-loved 42mm 5070, it's a little bit smaller. It's a lot finer with this caliber that they've created expressly for it.
Sure.
Do you think that there's any kind of impediment to its long-term collectability? Because it has the Patek caliber, it's not constrained by a Bausch's. They can really make as many as they want.
Yeah, but Patek is never going to flood a market, and they have such great control over distribution. So obviously, it's just going to be like any other, Patek with a precious metal. But it is a chronograph, so it has that going for it. Patek Philippe, when you're talking about precious metals, or about any watch, it's always going to be, there's going to be some depreciation, but when you add a complication, especially with a Patek, it's always good. I mean, you can't when it comes to Patek Philippe, like you're always doing well.
And here's the other thing about the 5170. This is going to be a watch that is very, I would say, budget sensitive because you will pay more for a really nice 5070, especially the 1 year only yellow gold version. A watch, pardon me, the 1 year only blue dial platinum version of the 57. The 1 year only yellow gold version was the perpetual calendar chronograph. But the thing about the 5170 is there's no telling when Patek will stop making it. So whereas the 5070 had a pretty short production run of, I want to say, really no more than, I want to say it was like 7 model years. It was not long. It had a short lifespan. The bottom line is that it's a watch that is always going to be collectible, whereas with the 5170, like the in-house caliber Rolex Daytona, a problem because that Rolex will always continue to be built and built and built, whereas the old Zenith caliber from 88 to 99, there have only ever been so many built. They were constrained by Zenith's production capacity, just like the 5070 was constrained by Lemagna's Bausch availability on the 2310. The 5170 is a watch to buy because you like it, not because you think it'll be an investment piece.
Of course. And that goes for, most precious metal watches across the board, right?